Vietnamese accent marks, các dấu trong tiếng Việt. Các is a word in Vietnamese that makes things plural. So in English, we have the S or ES. When you add that to the end of a noun, it makes things plural. In Vietnamese, we have các, and that makes things plural. We add it in front of a noun. Dấu is a word in Vietnamese that means the diacritical marks. Most people don't say diacritical marks, they say accent marks. Trong means in. Tiếng is a word that means language or sound. So in Vietnamese, just like other languages, one word sometimes has multiple meanings. Oh, that reminds me, trong can also mean clear. So just like in English, where one word has multiple meanings, so does Vietnamese. Viet, of course, means Vietnamese. So, các dấu trong tiếng Việt, the accent marks in Vietnamese. In English, we would say Vietnamese accent marks instead of saying the accent mark in Vietnamese. It's just a little bit more concise. So sometimes that's why you feel like when people translate things, especially to Vietnamese, it seems like the translation is much longer, many more words than the original in English. Lesson objective. Students will be able to recognize, sound out, and use the hand signals for the Vietnamese tone and accent marks. Warm up. Please list the topic, words, and or phrases that you learned during our last class. Be as detailed as possible. So I like this warm up because you can, the way your brain works, you can make connections to what you learned before. If you can do that, you remember things more. Also, if you just keep going back to what you learned before, it sticks to your brain. Okay, so can you go ahead and write down in the chat box a couple words that you already learned in class so far? So, and also while you're doing that, the lesson objective, the reason I said students will be able to recognize, sound out the hand signals for the Vietnamese tone and accent marks is because when you're new to the Vietnamese language, even hearing the difference between ma and ma are hard for some people. I know that a lot of students will tell me that, oh, that sounds the same to me. Ma and ma sounds the same. So in English, if I say ma and ma, it is the same word. Like I could be calling my mom, if I was speaking in English. But in Vietnamese, there are two different words. So the tones are very important in Vietnamese. There are 6 tones and 5 tonal accent marks. These are the names of the tones in Vietnamese. Sắc, it means sharp, literally. Huyen literally means mysterious. Hỏi literally means question. Nhã means to fall. Nặng means heavy. Ngang, it literally means horizontal. So these are the literal definitions of these words. And these words are the names of the tones and the accent marks. Okay? So there are 6 tones. Tones are what you say with your voice and what you hear with your ears. So the tone of the word. Kind of like in music, we have different tones as well. We have in American, the American system, we use A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The rest of the world uses do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. Okay, so there are different tones. There are 7 tones in music, and then you have the sharps and flats. So in Vietnamese, we have 6 tones. The names of the tones are thanh sắc, thanh huyền, thanh hỏi, thanh nhã, thanh nặng, thanh ngang. So again, thanh sắc, thanh huyền, thanh hỏi, thanh nhã, thanh nặng, thanh ngang. So the question down here is chữ thanh, chữ blank có thanh gì? Thanh. So the question is asking you, chữ means word. So the word blank, and then whatever the word is, has, có means has, tone, what? So notice that in Vietnamese, we ask the question with the word what at the end, right? So then this sentence, this question translates to what word, this word, whatever the word is, has what tone, and then you'll say thanh blank. So you say, oh, the tone, blah, 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 right? So I could ask you, thanh sắc có thanh gì, and you would say thanh sắc. Thanh huyền có thanh gì, and you would say thanh huyền. I would say chữ nặng có thanh gì, and you say thanh nặng. Chữ thanh có thanh gì, and you would say thanh ngang. The 5 accent marks. So like we said, there are 6 tones, but only 5 accent marks. Okay? 5 accent marks for the tone. There are more accent marks. They're called letter accent marks. We'll get to that. So the 5 accent marks are dấu sắc, dấu huyền, dấu hỏi, dấu nhã, dấu nặng, không dấu. Không means no or none or don't or doesn't. So what does không dấu mean then? Dấu means accent mark, remember? So không dấu is no accent mark. So even though I said, oh, there are 5 accent marks, but then you look at this, it looks like a list of 6. But that's because the last one is không dấu. Không dấu matches with thanh ngang, right? So when you flip back and forth between the 6 tones and the 5 accent marks, they match, right? This one, the tone is flat, so that's why there's no accent mark. Okay, so dấu sắc makes the word go up. Your voice sounds high. Dấu sắc, and it stays high. Dấu huyền, and if you look at the symbol, it goes up as well from left to right. When you see that, you know your voice needs to go up when you pronounce that word. Dấu sắc, dấu huyền. Huyền makes your voice go down. Okay. Dấu huyền. Dấu hỏi. So look at the symbol. You kind of start in the middle, go up, and then go back down and stay low. Dấu hỏi. Like the way we write a question mark. Dấu hỏi. Dấu nhã. So again, look at the symbol. You start low, go up, go down, go back up. Dấu nhã almost sounds like 2 syllables. Dấu nhã, right? Almost like 2 syllables. So the nhã sounds almost like you're saying nhã, right? When you say it fast, so it's not actually 2 syllables. Also, dấu nhã, in the north, they say it like that. But in the south, it sounds almost like dấu hỏi. Okay? And so in the south, they say dấu nhã, which almost sounds like hỏi. Right? In the north, they distinguish. Dấu nặng. Dấu nặng. Nặng. It means heavy. Your voice sounds very low. Some students tell me it sounds like you're almost like a sheep. Bah, you know? So very low voice. There's a dot on the bottom, almost like maybe like a ball in the ball and chain, you know, something dragging you down, right? So your voice sounds very low. Dấu nặng. And short. We don't say nah, you know? We say nặng, and it ends the dấu nặng words tend to be very short when you pronounce them. And then also you notice dấu ngã sounds long, right? Dấu nặng sounds short. Không dấu means no accent mark. So we will go over which words technically don't have a tonal accent mark. Chữ blank có dấu gì? So the question is asking you, what accent mark does a certain word have? And your answer would be dấu, whatever it is. Okay? So I could ask you, chữ dấu có dấu gì? And you say dấu sắc. Chữ hỏi có dấu gì? Dấu hỏi. Okay. But guess what? Chữ không, look at không. Do you see any of these accent marks on không? Do you see dấu sắc on không? No. Do you see dấu huyền on không? No. Do you see dấu hỏi on không? No. Do you see dấu ngã on không? No. Do you see dấu nặng on không? No. Không does not have an accent mark. Không có dấu thanh. Dấu thanh. That means it doesn't have a tonal accent mark. Does it mean it doesn't have any accent marks? Well, you can see clearly it does have an accent mark, right? So this accent mark is the accent mark that I mentioned that are not tonal accent marks. They are letter accent marks. Letter accent marks in Vietnamese are dấu lập chữ. Dấu means accent mark. Lập means to build up something or create something or have something be built, kind of like on a foundation. Okay, chữ, it means word. So we have symbols that make up a word, that create a word. The example I like to give are twins. Let's say you know two twins. One of them has a mole and one of them doesn't have a mole. And that's how you tell them apart, by looking at the mole on their face. So if you see a twin without the mole, you know that it's twin number one. If you see a twin with a mole, you know that it's twin number two, right? So the letters in Vietnamese are kind of like that. Some of the letters are plain and some of them have an accent mark, and it's a completely different letter. It's not the same letter. It's a different letter. It's like the twin example. It's not the same guy who drew a mole on himself. It's a different person completely. So that's what the accent marks do to the letters. Okay? It's a completely different letter. So we have dấu á. Dấu á is for the letter á. That's the name of the letter. Without any accent marks, it would be the letter a. With the dấu á accent mark, it's the letter a. Dấu mũ, oh, it looks like a half moon. Dấu mũ looks like a hat, like the Vietnamese cone hat. And it turns the letter a into a. So without any accent marks, this would be a. But with the hat, it's a. With the dấu á, it's a. This is the letter A. Sounds just like the A in English, right? Letter A. This is the letter O. Without the symbol, this would be A. Without the symbol, this would be A. So you see, it makes a completely different letter. Dấu móc. Móc means hook. Dấu móc makes this letter A. Without dấu móc, it's A. It makes this letter U instead of U. Okay, so different letter. Dấu ngang is for the D in English. In Vietnamese, we have two Ds. We have the one without dấu ngang. Dấu ngang is the dash. Without dấu ngang, it's pronounced yeah. In the South, yeah. In the North, people use the Z sound, z. Z. Okay. With the dash, with the dấu ngang, it's the. So the hard D sound. Okay. So we already did this assignment, but you made a 3x3 chart and then you drew pictures and wrote words to explain each of the dấu. So dấu sắc, again, your voice goes up. Dấu huyền, your voice goes down. Dấu hỏi, go up and then back down. Dấu ngã, broken up tone, down and up tone. Dấu nặng, your voice sounds very heavy. Dấu á is for the A. Dấu mũ for a, o. Dấu móc for and ư. Dấu ngang for the D. I want to point out something. If you look at dấu móc, it's very similar to dấu hỏi, but the major difference is that dấu hỏi is floating and dấu móc is attached to the letter. That's how you tell them apart. Because if you draw, they both kind of look like hooks. They both look like question marks, right? But dấu móc is attached to the letter. It changes the letter itself. And dấu hỏi changes the sound of the word. Like dấu hỏi, this word hỏi, without the dấu, it would be hỏi. With the dấu hỏi, it's hỏi. Xin chào. Xin chào. Xin chào. Xin is thanh ngang, không dấu. Chào has dấu here, going down. So xin, your voice sounds flat. Chào, your voice goes down. It means hello or goodbye. Xin, xin is thanh ngang, flat tone. Không dấu means it doesn't have an accent mark. It means, literally, it means please, like you're asking someone for something and you say please, and you use it to sound polite. Tôi, tôi. Tôi is thanh ngang, không dấu, but it does have a dấu. It has a dấu mũ. Okay, it means me, myself, and I. So how come here we say, oh, it doesn't have an accent mark, and then you're like, oh, it does have an accent mark, because this accent mark category are the tonal accent marks, and this, then the dấu mũ is a letter accent mark. So that's why there are differences. So in this word, you say không dấu, right? But we're talking about the tonal accent marks when we say không dấu. This does have dấu mũ. Là. La has dấu huyền. It is the verb to be. So we will translate la as is, am, was, or were. In Vietnamese, it's all the same word, la. There's another word for is, am, was, or were. It's called thì. But we use thì a lot less than la. Thì is like a state of being where you, like if you're describing someone's personality or your own personality, you would use thì. But most of the time for is, am, was, or were, we use là. Cảm ơn. Cảm ơn is two words. Together, they mean thank you. Cảm has dấu sắc. Ơn is thanh ngang không dấu, but ơn has dấu móc, and it means thank you. So some words in Vietnamese have two words in them. They're not really compound words though, because the word compound word means the words are stuck together, right? Like bookcase. Bookcase is spelled together. That's a compound word. In Vietnamese, we have two words, but they're not literally compound words. Kind of like the word thank you in English, right? You say thank you, but you write it as two separate words. You don't write them together, So a lot of words in Vietnamese are like that. Okay. Does it mean you or thank? No, it literally means like thank you for um the ơn means like, gosh, I'm losing the word, but ơn is like thank you for doing that wonderful thing for me. Like it's very strong. Yeah. Okay. So yes, làm ơn means like please do that thing for me. So when you say cảm ơn or làm ơn, it sounds a little bit stronger in Vietnamese than it does in English when we say please and thank you. You know, it, it doesn't. It's very casual in English almost when you say please, thank you. In Vietnamese, it sounds very formal and very strong.